I'm Josie Rudolphi, Associate Professor and Extension Specialist at the University of Illinois, and I'm going to talk about staying safe around livestock and manure, people, equipment, and facilities. Practicing safe working behavior in livestock facilities and in and around manure is really important. So injuries can result in lost time, days away from work, reduced productivity, all of which can whittle away at a farm's profitability. Some of the main hazards include the size and behavior of livestock. They're very large in comparison to workers typically, and they're relatively unpredictable in the way they move. We also really recommend hearing protection. So those could be earplugs or ear muffs that go over the ears, again, to help reduce any exposure to very loud noises. We also have livestock facilities such as manure storage and management, and we know that manure gas can be incredibly hazardous to humans. A lot of that hazard emerges when we start to agitate a pit. When we agitate a pit, we release hydrogen sulfide, which is an incredibly hazardous gas. And typically, exposure to hydrogen sulfide is fatal. We have very few instances where people have survived any sort of hydrogen sulfide exposure. So anytime we're preparing to agitate a pit, the recommendation is to have extensive PPE. And that typically includes a respirator that is not only a respirator, but it's a self-contained breathing apparatus. So imagine being equipped with the same sort of respirator that a scuba diver might wear. Something that's going to supply clean, safe air to your operator or the person agitating the pit. Another alternative would be to own or borrow a 4-gas monitor. This is something you can typically strap on either your lapel or your belt. This will alert you should hydrogen sulfide levels become hazardous. Unfortunately, the hazardous level is quite low, so any sort of detection leaves very little time for somebody to move out of that environment. When we're working with livestock outdoors, we really recommend closed-toed shoes, preferably steel-toed shoes. We know that when we're working in close proximity to large animals, it's not uncommon for a hoof to find a foot. We also really recommend that people wear long pants and long shirts. And we recommend a sturdy material, something like denim or canvas, something that's going to prevent getting caught in or snagged on either a fence or a piece of equipment. We always recommend leather gloves, something that again is going to be sturdy and resistant to rope burns and or the occasional pinch in a chute or a gate. So there are a couple of hazards around livestock moving equipment. So these are oftentimes things like chutes and gates and other sorts of hallways that may be temporary or permanent to move animals. These often have a number of moving parts which can present pinch hazards. Animals can move into these and swing them such that they pin people between gates or against a wall and a gate. Our recommendation is to use those as a barrier between a worker and the animal. Respect that they are to be used as a gate, and always be working with 2 or more people, such that somebody can be moving livestock and the other can be closing gates behind the livestock so that they can't push the chute or gate out.